movie nerds, dorks, and weirdos. Welcome to my podcast, New Movie Tuesdays. I'm your host, Matthew Salanoa. I'm just going to call this segment Relatively New Movie Tuesdays, meaning it's relatively new, not new. So, I was not doing New Movie Tuesdays last year. In fact, last year I decided to end my previous podcast, Why It's Great Gut Reaction, because it just wasn't generating views. And there was zero comments. It was just not getting a reaction. And hey, honestly, this podcast isn't doing that great either. But I just wanted time to rebrand, to think about, do I really want to do this podcasting thing? But while I was sitting around just thinking about what I wanted to do, I saw these three awesome horror movies. If you're a horror movie fan, then these are my recommendations, movies I've just seen really in the last couple months. But the first I want to talk about is Talk to Me. Just saw this a few days ago. Really got a kick out of it. Talk to Me is about, I think they're college students. Maybe they're no. It's about high school students who have acquired this creepy hand statue that if you light a candle and you grab the hand and say "talk to me" and I let you in, a demon will speak through the person. Essentially, it's a possession, and then these kids video it and they have a good time. On the one hand, it's about teen partying going wrong, and on the other hand, it's very much a movie, and I think I saw things about it before, how it's really about addiction as well, and kind of where it comes from. I haven't done any research, but that's certainly the vibe of the movie, is that when I was watching Talk to Me, you see the main girl, what backstory that we know about her is she lost her mother, and during one of these hand possessions, it seems like one of the characters is possessed by her mother and is being spoken to by the mom. So this begins a series of scenarios where eventually she gets possession of the hand and uses it privately, and it just leads to more and more ghosts, demon, bad stuff happening. It's just this increasing scenario where she's either being influenced or attacked by the demons. And it's a really it's this deserves horror movie. It's very scary, it's very creepy. What happens to one particular character, I won't even describe him. He is the sibling of one of the main characters. What happens to that character is horrific by itself. I thought Talk to Me, though, was, although I was passing it out a bit to it, but I just did not want to give up. I just kept telling my roommate, smack me awake. I want to see this to the end, because it was just such an engrossing story about how, because of the deceased mother speaking to her, she's so fixated on getting to speak to her mom again, and we don't even know if it's real. That's the thing, like, you don't know for sure. So I would say Talk to Me, very good watch. I think the themes of addiction are very clear, and then you kind of see the sourcing of it. Addiction isn't just addiction by itself. There's some kind of preceding pain or issue that predates the introduction to what was the addictive substance. And also, you just see how she is before the hand, is that she is very clingy to her best friend and her family. She's very clingy. There's this unspoken desperation to be close to someone and to have a close personal relationship, and you can tell it's because of the loss that she experienced. So the themes woven into the story, everything that goes on, I was impacted. I thought this was great. This was a great movie, well told. Talk to Me, definitely the best of the three movies I'm going to talk about. Then there's Getaway. For those of you who want a fun horror movie, Getaway. I saw this movie last year called Crazy House, spelled with a K, starring Nick Frost and Alicia Silverstone. And it's basically a dark parody of American sitcoms that devolves into this sitcom family having a very gross, scary visit from these very creepy guys, and it ends up devolving into violence and madness and crime and the police showing up and gunfire and just pure madness. So Crazy House, I thought, such a creative, insane experience. And when I was watching the bonus material or the interviews about that, it turned out that Nick Frost had teamed up with the directors again to make Getaway, which is about a family going on a vacation to this little island where there is this very creepy historical ritual that happens every single year. They commemorate a violent incident that happened in the island's past. And in the trailer, it's very funny because you just see it seems like a very stupid family ignores all signs and decides to go to this island where everyone's telling them, don't go here. You really shouldn't go here. Bad things will happen if you go here. And some bad things do happen when they go there. And yet, you know, especially the first half, hilarious. They do seem just so daft and stupid that I'm almost wanting to turn the movie off. Like, where is this going? How could anyone be so dumb as to walk into so much trouble? So I do want to spoil this a little bit. So if you haven't seen Getaway, I'm telling you it's a fun horror movie. I'm not telling you why. Skip to 5 minutes from now. I will I will be talking about Longlegs, okay? So Getaway, spoilers, halfway through this movie, it is revealed that during the ritual, the family waited till the last day of the ritual, which is supposed to be, it's this retelling of when English settlers took over the island and killed a bunch of people. And so this family is English and the people of the island are Swedish or something like that. And the family goes on a killing spree and kills the whole island. But it's done in this really fun, crazy way. And it's one of those things in a horror movie I've always secretly wished for. It's like, wouldn't it be great if, like, one of these stupid people, these stupid groups of people who walk into a horrible situation that everyone has warned them not to go into, wouldn't it be great if one of these days there was a movie where those people ended up defending themselves, or they themselves were crazier than anybody else and just wiped everybody else out instead? And that's this movie. So Getaway gave me that great experience. It's really just a 90-minute punchline. It's a 90-minute joke that could have worked well as a short film, but I love it that it's a feature film because it's all about that build-up where you're just wondering what's going on. They're staying at an Airbnb with a creepy guy who's looking at the daughter, who admittedly is gorgeous. And she even seems to be into it, which is another red flag. Like, what's up with this family? Most people would have turned away by the first warning. Everyone else would have gone back home after they showed up on the island and the whole island said, get the hell out of here. Everybody else would take that note. But these guys just keep marching on through. But we have a reservation. One of the funniest dumb lines of all time. But yeah, just the fact that the daughter was kind of into the creepy guy who was clearly watching her. But she, I thought, was great. Really, I thought she definitely took the spotlight when the family was revealed to be what they are. And I love that Nick Frost wrote this movie, so this is his writing. Just really awesome time. If you haven't seen Crazy House or Getaway, you got to be a bit of a weirdo. Okay, I say this podcast, my whole channel is for movie nerds, dorks, and weirdos. I'm a bit of all three. So if you're a bit of a weirdo, you're into kind of weird movies like Tusk, I think you'll get a kick out of this. So that's my thoughts on Getaway. Very highly recommend. Just as fun, just as a fun movie. You know, it's not deep. It's not excessively gory, although there's definitely some gore. But it's just more of the fun ride of, oh, okay, that's what's going on. I accept I accept this turn of events where the family is the killers and they kill everybody, and the kills are hilarious. You gotta go watch it. The last movie I want to talk about is Longlegs. I did refer to this previously when I was talking about weapons. Longlegs, for those of you who haven't seen it, who are watching this now, it's about an FBI investigator who has to try to get to the bottom of these bizarre family killings where these either fathers or parents have started killing the children and then themselves. And there's no real clear motivation of why. It's heavily sensed that there's another player involved because the killings just don't make sense. And our investigator seems to be potentially psychic. And I actually really love this movie. I love the way it's shot. It's directed by Osgood Perkins. Its shooting style is it's very seemingly simplistic, and yet characters will appear in backgrounds and disappear all of a sudden. It just really gives you that constant sense of unnerving, unknowing tension of something's always there. Nicolas Cage plays the bad guy, and I think it's his best performance in a long time. I haven't seen a lot of his movies lately, but his best that I've seen since Big Daddy. I loved him in Big Daddy. I loved him in Kick-Ass as Big Daddy. Yeah, I thought Nicolas Cage was great. He does one of his famous screams. It's very recognizable, but other than that, I felt like he was this character. And I compared Longlegs and Weapons because the movies do have a similar thread to them about sort of people being controlled and stuff like that. But I really like the simple, creepy style, and you don't even get necessarily all the answers by the end, but the answer you do get of the particular person, the whodunit, because there is another player involved besides Nicolas Cage. When you get that reveal and how the FBI investigator deals with that, and the victims at the end, who they are, you see it coming. You know that you see this group, this family at the start of the movie, so you know that you're not seeing these people for no reason. But yeah, when we get to that ending, I was very affected by it. I like that there was a comment on my Weapons versus Longlegs video. Someone said Longlegs is better than Weapons, and you know what? I'm not going to disagree with you, but at the same time, I just think they're different enough for me. I think they're worlds apart in terms of what kind of movie they are, even though there's some similar elements where I don't really need to compare the two. But just the fact of the matter is that people are comparing them because it's understandable. This is mind control, evil magic, a very creepy, pale person who looks like they're kind of sick. Yeah, so the similarities are totally there. But I just feel like they're totally, in my mind, they're different enough that I'm not going to say one's better than the other. I think they're similar notions with completely different filmmakers behind them. Where to me, Weapons is, I would say, the fun version, or not even version, but the fun equivalent experience to Longlegs. Longlegs is really creepy and understated, and I think that's the strength of that movie. Weapons is very creepy and understated until it isn't, until it explodes into violence at the ending, where it becomes Fun Legs to me. So I think they're two separate movies, but I really liked Micah Monroe as the FBI investigator in Longlegs. I thought she perfectly fit that kind of the eerie kind of person that would be in this position. I thought she really matched that energy and that quality. And the actress who plays her mother, her name is slipping my mind right now, but I remember seeing her in a horror movie in my younger days, and she was basically Micah Monroe's age here. And it was one of those college horror movies. I just thought, wow, she's so stunning and great in this movie. And here I am thinking about about Micah, and then here this actress is as her mother. I'm like, whoa, that's you. Whoa, you're still great. You're still great, but now you're playing the mom. So it's fun. It's fun for me on that level to, you realize you're watching actors grow. They're aging with you. So yeah, I thought Longlegs was great. I thought that's my kind of movie. It's my cup of tea. And again, it's slow burn. It's creepy, but I can have just as much fun with Getaway, which is a very silly movie, and then Talk to Me, which I think splits the difference because it's a movie that where the characters do have fun. It does have some levity, but ultimately it's a very dark and sinister ending. And then I like the ending to all the movies. I thought all the movies had a perfect ending for what their stories were going for. So there's my 2024 catch up. If you sat through it, thank you very much for watching. And yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. If you have seen these movies, which one was your favorite? And what do you recommend? Do you recommend I check anything out? I definitely will love to read any movie recommendations from people watching this. So thank you very much if you made it this far. I really appreciate you. If you can smash the like and subscribe, you'd be doing me a huge favor. If not, no worries. Look, I love the kind of funny philosophy of like, look, we're all just here for what we're here for. We're all here to have a good time and relax. That's why it's New Movie Tuesdays. It's not Why It's Great anymore. I thought Why It's Great Gut Reaction, the previous version of this podcast, it was a bit all over the place. And even the title, it's like, who's supposed to know what you're talking about? So New Movie Tuesdays, where I watch something new and I bring it to you. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Mahalo and aloha, all you wonderful movie nerds, dorks, and weirdos.